Boston has a lot of past, but we have to think about the future. And how do you get to the future? It's through technology, and that's why it's so important to have what we're starting to have in the city. You know, the technology through computers, wireless communication, all those things are important to keep us ahead of the curve.
Boston's just a great city to be in. It's a fun city. There are a lot of nice people here, and we're very fortunate that we have a mayor that understands the benefit of technology, whether it's wireless communication or whether it's internet access in all of the Boston public schools. You know, Mayor Menino has brought a lot to Boston by being an advocate for technology.
Technology is a means to get something. It's never the end. And so we use technology in a way to better educate our kids, to better, you know, police the streets, to better have improved economic development or any other kind of end that we're trying to achieve.
And to cut down on truancy helps the learning process in Boston. And through the cooperation of Nextel, we're able to work with the truant officers, the police, and the administration to make sure we're in contact with the kids who are outside of school and bring them back to school so they can be in the classroom.
In Boston, truancy officers are going high-tech. They will soon have Nextel phones providing instant access to school information. Phones will help officers identify students and report them to their schools. Boston is the first city in the country to test the system.
Well, it may seem self-evident, but if children aren't there in school, they can't learn. Primary motivation to keep attendance high is so that students will be in school every day, their learning will be high quality, and they'll meet the high standards we have set.
The old procedure was that the truant officers, as you call them, but we call them attendance officers here in Boston, they would hit the streets to seek out truants with a printout that contained about 65,000 names.
The essence of the document, at least as we use it, that's the problem with the document.
And we used to have to flip through the book, carry the book with us in the car, end up in a mess half the time.
The printout itself is relatively useless. The information is good for one day, and if we had to print this every day, we'd kill the redwood forest. So when Nextel approached us, I thought it was a tremendous opportunity. One of the first things that I had done when I took over the responsibility for all the attendance officers was to go out and purchase Nextel phones, because I needed a two-way communication system with them, as well as for their own personal safety, because they do much of their work out on the streets. And when Nextel approached us and said that, you know, we have something that could make your life simple, we have some technology that we've been working on that we think is going to be unbelievable, I personally jumped all over it.
Here's how the technology works. The Nextel provides the telephone, AirClic provides the application, and Boston Public Schools provides the database. What happens in the street is the attendance officer puts the student's name into the telephone, and then the telephone fills up with vital statistics such as the student's age, the student's school, again, the parents' telephone numbers, and even the student's schedule.
So this is like fast tracking. Prior to this, what we would have to do is it would probably, you grab the student, you weren't sure who the student was, you could waste all day. Now we can do all this in less than 10, 15 minutes.
This has to be a partnership between home and school, and often parents don't have the information because they can get it much more quickly, with the attendance officers being able to make more immediate contact. That's what makes this so effective.
I knew the great need we had for it, and the fact that, you know, you have, you know, a corporation that's willing to step up and do this, it really at no cost to the Boston Public Schools. I always say it's an example of, you know, corporate responsibility.
I think other systems will look at this and they'll adopt this, and we can always look back and say Boston was on the cutting edge. Boston was the leader.
Given what goes on in this world today, people want to know where their kids are, and this phone will allow us to do that.
The wireless communications we have, the technology we have, all that is part of the success of Boston. We can't still walk around the city and use 3x5 cards. It doesn't work anymore. People want instant answers, and by the technology we have or the wireless phones we have, that gives us the instant communication with the people we serve.